Welcome back with another banger. It's the React Files. Let's get straight to it.
A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the three key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier.
There are sirens, according to the initial alerts, sounding across the entirety of central Israel, all the way from Haifa in the north to the Negev desert in the south. We also understand at this moment this alert has gone out to everyone in this part of the country, sending millions of people into bomb shelters. Many people trying to get underground. There are a few cars out on the road right now, but you remember we talked about those emergency orders that went into effect from Israel's Home Front Command just before this missile attack took place. Again, we don't yet see any air defense systems that are active over the city at this moment. But we're certainly waiting to see how this develops. This is the initial Iranian response to the American strikes that took place overnight, targeting the country's nuclear facilities. There are also initial reports of air raid sirens sounding in Jordan as these missiles fly over that country toward Israel. And so, again, this is a very common occurrence over the past 9 days here, Trace, as these sirens will sound. They're interceptors. Yep. All right. And so we're going to get inside here. Stay with us, Trace. Get in.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go. Move with me. We're with you. We're still with you, Trace. So we saw at least one interceptor over the city, Trace, an indication that the air defense systems are active over Tel Aviv. And this is, like Aaron said, the initial response. And in the distance, we can hear two booms. And likely these are the interceptions that are taking place over the city. Trace.
The sirens, Trey, the fact that they have stopped, is it because they are intermittent? It's not consistent, or is it something else?
Generally, these sirens will go on for a period of time, then they'll stop. The threat is not over, though, when the sirens end.
USA, we are screwed. We just had the supreme leader of Iran stand up and say, y'all better be brave for what's coming. Not only that, we have multiple countries standing up with Iran right now against the U.S. We'll get into all the developments that have happened since the president's speech. This behind me is the one true video that we have so far that surfaced of the Fordow explosion. Every other one you've seen is a straight lie from years ago. There's a massive problem with this, by the way. But we'll come back to it. So not only do we have Iraq deploying soldiers to the U.S. embassy, we also have Yemen saying, guess what, we're in this now too, and it's on. Iranian media also said every single American in the Middle East is fair game, but not just there. Don't forget, like I showed you 2 weeks ago, they are warning us of the terror cells in the United States. Trust me when I tell you, when the news shows you something like that, it usually means it's a few weeks out. On Iranian media, they are literally broadcasting every single place you can find an American troop. There are 50,000 active military members in the Middle East right now. We also have videos from inside Iran where they're loading helicopters and other things on the trailers. Wonder what that's for. Even now, as the IRGC is calling for strikes on U.S. naval, we have United States military being briefed about the strike. To expect counterattacks, don't be naive, they knew that this would mean war. Commander of Iranian Aerospace came out and said tonight that they will see the strength of Iran. Craziest part of all this, they said Fordow and the other places had moved their nukes or whatever they had out a long time ago. Now back to the only legit video of the Fordow strike. I want you to listen to this very carefully and tell me if it sounds like nuclear components are being hit. One, it sounds like a shotgun, not some kind of nuke. And two, don't you take special precautions when you're like trying to blow up something that has to do with nuclear stuff? One of two things, they don't have nukes, or two, they did and they really did move them. Update you later.
That is true. If you bombed a nuclear plant, I would believe the damage would be catastrophic. It was quiet as hell. Yo, what if we got played? And what if they got bad intel and just bombed the wrong place? And we got baited? That would suck. Shout outs to the real Moo Henry. 50,000 troops? Yo, that's a lot of troops over there. My prayers are with them. This may be the reason they would serve steak and lobster.
Oh, okay. Breaking news. It is official. The US has struck Iran and joined the war. Good morning! Here's what's happened. So, a couple of hours ago, 10 p.m. Washington time, Trump addressed the nation saying that with the use of their B-2 bombers, that's the Dorito-looking ones, they struck 3 nuclear sites in Iran. Trump said these strikes were a spectacular military success, and those sites are now completely and totally obliterated. He said that Iran must now make peace, and if they don't, future strikes will be much greater and a lot easier. And this is after bro said he needed 2 weeks to decide, but ended up deciding in 2 days. Now, Israel was in full coordination with these strikes, and the US actually reached out to Iran beforehand, diplomatically, which sounds wild. I'd love to hear how that phone call went down. Hey, yo, Iran, Doritos are on the way, heads up. Oh, but on the call they also said, don't worry, we're not planning any regime changes in your country. Now, Iran has officially responded saying that the US strikes are outrageous and they will have everlasting consequences. And they previously said that they would retaliate, and that would mean probably like US bases in the Middle East, because remember, they don't actually have the, well, at least that we know of the ability to strike US mainland with missiles at least. So, what happens now? How does Iran respond? Who do they go and hit up for help? What does this mean? World War III? Well, let me get another coffee. We're all just waking up on this side of the world, but I'll get cracking on that video. Chop chop, newsboy.
Chop chop, newsboy, get on it. Shout outs to Dylan Page. Yeah, it's an early morning for all of us. This is crazy. Me personally was hoping it wouldn't escalate to this. Feels like the start of something that's gonna brew into something worse. GTA 6 was just too good to be true. I guess we could kiss that all goodbye.
So it looks like America just joined the war against Iran with Israel. This was just posted at 7:46 p.m. on June 21st, 2025. And Trump posted this on his Truth Social. He goes on to say, "We have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including those 3 right there." It says all planes are now outside of Iran airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordo. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. Now is the time for peace. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I think it's interesting that he adds at the end, now is the time for peace, because we know what has to happen in the future according to the Bible, right? We know that there's going to be a covenant that is going to be confirmed or strengthened. And so that seems to be speaking to the Abraham Accords. And so one of the questions that have been bouncing around in my own mind is, what is it going to take to get Iran to join the Abraham Accords, if they do at all? And the answer that I've kind of been thinking about is if they get hit so hard that they have no other option but to join. And it's not going to be a real peace, because Iran is never going to be like, oh, we're so at peace with you. They're not going to be like that. Like, Israel is their mortal enemy. And so if they do sign or join the Abraham Accords, it'll be interesting to see who or what other nations are going to join. And that would be considered being a covenant with many. On Amir's channel, he says the U.S. has officially joined the attack on Iran. So now we are joining Israel in their war on Iran. And then also, the IRGC channel wrote, the U.S. has declared war on us. War. The war has officially begun. So now, America is in it. Guys, we need to be praying. We need to be praying fervently.
Get on your knees and fold your hands. Shout out to It's Sheesh. I feel like this could be prophecy unfolding. You know, whatever they say over here, man, over there, they at war.
So for all the Democrats and liberals that support Iran and hate Israel, I just want to show y'all something that Barack Obama said when he was president. Maybe if y'all hear it from him, maybe it'll help make sense to y'all.
Because a nuclear Iran is a threat to our national security, and it's a threat to Israel's national security. We cannot afford to have a nuclear arms race in the most volatile region of the world. Iran's a state sponsor of terrorism, and for them to be able to provide nuclear technology to non-state actors, that's unacceptable. And they have said that they want to see Israel wiped off the map. So the offers Iran a choice. They can take the diplomatic route and end their nuclear program, or they will have to face a united world and a United States president, me, who said we're not going to take any options off the table.
I don't know, bro. It just sounds an awful lot like what Donald Trump's saying right now, if you ask me. Which comes off to me to make it seem as if y'all actually understand what we're saying and y'all are actually for what we're saying. Y'all just are against it because Donald Trump's the one initiating it now. Because Donald Trump's leading it and a Democrat like Barack Obama isn't leading it now. Y'all have an issue with it. That's just what it seemed like to me. I don't know.
So apparently Trump bombed Iran on the summer solstice. That's not random. That's ritual. Let me tell you what this really is, because it ain't just politics. The solstice is a solar gateway, a cosmic checkpoint where the sun floods this planet with light codes. It's a moment for upgrading consciousness, remembering truth, activating DNA. And every single time these high-frequency portals open, the shadow shows up to hijack it. They don't want to just control land or oil or borders. They want to control consciousness. They want to lower the frequency, hijack the grid, and keep you looping in fear. So they drop bombs during solar peaks. They inject trauma into the timeline and hope we don't notice it's a spell. But I see it, and if you're listening, you feel it too. I do not consent to war codes being seeded in sacred portals. I anchor peace. I anchor sovereignty. I reclaim this timeline in the name of truth, harmony, and divine order. Let the old matrix fall. Let the fake kings crumble. Let their fear rituals dissolve in the presence of real light. Because nothing they do can stop what's already rising. New Earth is coded in our bones. Don't let this distraction pull you off path. Stay grounded. Stay radiant. Speak truth. Decode reality. Anchor light. Let's activate what's real. I love you.
We love you too. Shout out to Sacred Union Rising. Very interesting. The summer solstice. Bombs have been dropped. Bombs over Baghdad. I agree. Let the old matrix fall. Don't get caught up in this crap. Stay rooted and grounded. Choose the path of love.
I do think U.S. might be underestimating how the Iranians view Qasem Soleimani, and I think that the response to him is going to be bigger than their assassination. I don't think it's just going to be the assassination of one man.
Who do you think? Who else do you think might be on that list?
I mean, with that kind of money, like, I wonder if it's the Capitol.
The entire Capitol. Holy shit.
Well, the building, you know.
Wow. Let's move into the homeland. Why move into the homeland? Then I was going to save that to the end, but it's getting hard to concentrate because that's all I could think about.
We are in deep shit. When I say that we are in deep shit, we are in deep shit. You see these four right here? These are CEOs, COOs from Palantir, Meta, and OpenAI, multi-billionaires who are being sworn into our U.S. Army reserves as lieutenant colonels. So Commander Bonespur and Pete Kegsbreath came up with a new detachment called Detachment 201, the Army's Executive Innovation Corps, or EIC. Last I checked, when anyone wants to join the military, they have to go through basic training, they have to go through MOS training, they also have to go through a background check to be able to obtain a security clearance, whether it's secret or top secret. But yet, we're giving these four billionaires who are in charge of monitoring our information, our data, through Meta, through Palantir, and OpenAI, we're giving them the key to our defense. They are being sworn in as lieutenant motherfucking colonels. Lieutenant colonels. Whereas for some of us who actually served it takes us years and years and years, up to maybe 25 years just to get that rank, just to be able to obtain that rank. So on June 13th, the Army announced the creation of Detachment 201, otherwise known as the Executive Innovation Corps, which it describes as a new initiative designed to fuse cutting-edge tech expertise with military innovation. 4 ultra-wealthy executives from top tech companies were sworn into the unit ahead of President Trump's heavily promoted military parade, which was itself sponsored by Palantir. The Army's top spokesman declared that the Detachment 201 was being created to bring in tech innovation executive leaders to help the Army with the recruitment and the subsequent training of tech-focused people. So if it's not bad enough that we've got these 4 CEOs here that are in charge of meddling and having access to our private information, now they're going into the military, and now they're going to use AI technology. This is a direct control of military innovation. This would include AI surveillance, cyber weapons, and autonomous drones. So now Trump and Pete Kegsbreath are trying to weaponize our military by the use of these super wealthy CEOs from OpenAI, Meta, and Palantir. And with the rank that they are obtaining, they have control over their subordinates. Sergeants, sergeants first class, first sergeants, and command sergeant majors. They have more rank than those that have already served. And these motherfuckers didn't even go through training.
Wow, shout out to First Cab Gal. I had no clue none of this was going on, and I could see the point of military innovation, moving the needle and pushing the envelope. But to give them rank over those who already served is ludicrous.
Donald Trump unleashed a massive military assault on Iran's nuclear facilities in a surprise strike that has shocked the world. The U.S. has obliterated Iran's nuclear sites after sending 6 B-2 stealth bombers to drop 30,000-pound bunker busters on Iran's main facility at Fordow.
Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success.
U.S. submarines also fired 30 Tomahawk missiles, targeting additional sites at Natanz and Isfahan. Iran slammed the attack as extremely dangerous, lawless, and criminal behavior and vowed revenge. Within hours, missiles rained down on Israel in retaliation.
Oh, it's confirmed, y'all. Trump just announced that the U.S. has bombed Iran 3 times, y'all. All 3 nuclear spots. So I know y'all been hearing about the earthquakes that's been hitting Iran. Could this be why? You remember, one of the locations was at a nuclear spot where the epicenter was. Trump didn't announce this on the press conference. He announced it right here, y'all. I'm about to pull it up. As you can see, he said, we have completed our very successful attack on 3 nuclear sites in Iran. This is crazy, fool. And then he said, all the planes is gone now. So he sent people in, and just like that, boom, he hit the nuclear sites and they were gone. But y'all, this might be the beginning. He said it like, it's over now. You think you just gonna announce that we bombed them and it's over? No. We've been getting stern warnings from Russia, and then North Korea wanna get antsy now. This shit might be the start, y'all. I'm hoping it's not. I don't want to say too much, but a lot of people know what's really going on. It's set in motion.
Yo, it's up. Shout out to Zay Reacts. It's definitely in motion. As you see, they already retaliated. Nah, don't pull a Rick James. Just don't walk into someone's house with somebody's shoes and say F your couch and not expect retaliation.
This cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close.
That's a wrap. Hope you enjoyed tonight's rabbit hole. Before we go, I want to give a huge shout out to all my reactors. Shout outs to Sammy Telesco. Shout outs to Tracy J.L. Butler. Shout outs to Queen Serenity 1. Big shout outs to Randall Hill. Came through with the 11th month subscription. Thank you so much. Shout outs to Paul. Shout outs to Glenn Hoxley. Big shout outs to Lahoma Simmons. Shout outs to Donna Fox. Shout outs to Blue Star 84. Huge shout outs to Shane. Shout outs to Ayinda Harris. Big shout outs, much love to Sherry Higgins. Big shout outs to Kaiser Big Factory. Huge shout outs to Denise Rosales. Big shout outs to Cav Scout 74. Shout outs to D-Mobile to Go. Huge shout outs to Soylent Greenest People. Shout outs to Abby. And shout outs to ER. Thank you guys so much for your support. Much love, peace and blessings. I wouldn't be here without you. If you enjoyed this video, why don't you check this one right here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks again. Till next time.